Hi, I'm Pete Shoemaker, Senior Vice President at DeWitt Stern. I manage our theatrical book of business, and I'm joined today by Nell Nugent, 5-time Tony Award-winning theatrical producer.
Hello.
Today we wanted to talk to you about non-appearance and abandonment coverage, which is purchased when you have a bankable star in a theatrical production. Now, what kind of trends are you seeing these days on Broadway?
Well, just that. In order to raise money, you really need a marquee value actor, at least one, or a Q star if you're going to use a television star, one with a Q rating. And once you acquire that star, from the time you sign the star until such time as you start rehearsal, you have an enormous amount of expenditures going out, up to half your budget.
Once you do sign a star and start spending money, we would recommend purchasing abandonment insurance. Abandonment basically is there to protect the investors against a catastrophic loss, which would be triggered by this bankable star being severely injured or becoming severely ill, so that they are unable to continue in their role in the production, thereby canceling the entire run of the show.
So at that point, the investors would get the money expended back.
What you would get is you'd have to prove your loss, so any expenditures that you've made, you would be reimbursed for those expenses. So it puts you back in the place you would have been had the loss not occurred.
All right, so now we've gotten into rehearsal and we're playing.
However, it's a different matter because a star can miss performances.
Exactly, yes, and that is typically called non-appearance insurance. Non-appearance coverage is there for a less catastrophic event where the star becomes ill or injured but not severely, so that they're only going to miss a handful of performances. These policies typically contain a deductible that is usually a 2-performance deductible is what the underwriters usually ask for up front. We try and cap that deductible at 2 performances. So if you had a star who was out sick for 4 performances, the 2-performance deductible would apply and you would be paid for 2 missed performances out of the 4.
But we wouldn't let our abandonment insurance go at that point, would we?
No. We would keep the abandonment in place for the entire run of the show. Typically, abandonment is a less expensive coverage. The rates on that are probably in the neighborhood of 1/4 of the rate for a non-appearance coverage. Many times what we'll do is we will dovetail the 2 coverages together so that we can protect the production full circle from beginning of the rehearsals through the very end of the run and have it be cost effective for the client. Last year we had a production that we insured that it was a 12-week run with 2 very big film and theater stars.
I think I know that show.
And yes, the advanced sales on that show were through the roof. We quoted several options for them, but they chose to go with a 4-week gross revenue non-appearance coverage. So they had 4 out of the 12 weeks where one of the 2 stars missed, they would be protected for the revenue lost.
It would seem that an informed producer working closely with an expert broker in the field is the best protection for the investor.
This is a very specialized coverage, and really it is extremely important that you have an insurance broker who understands the coverage. At DeWitt Stern, not only do we understand the coverage, but we also understand the business of the theatrical productions. We feel this provides us with an advantage when negotiating coverage terms on your behalf. There are only a handful of underwriters that underwrite this coverage, so having existing relationships with those underwriters helps us a great deal in negotiating the broadest possible coverage terms at the best premiums for our clients. Thank you for joining me here today, Nell.
A pleasure.